All right, good morning, brothers and sisters. This is Chris and Livy, special episode of Walking with God. We're out here in Lafayette Square at the nation's capital here in D.C. We'll be reading chapter 4 of Genesis, where Cain murders Abel. So I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and read. Thank you guys for all your support. We're doing this in memory of the election. So again, if I say a word or something or I read it incorrectly, just please correct me. So, all right, Cain murders Abel. Now the man knew his wife Eve, and she conceived and bore Cain, saying, I have pronounced a man with the help of the Lord. Next she bore his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, and Cain a tiller of the ground. And in the course of time, Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground, and Abel for his part brought of the firstling of the flock their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering. But for Cain, his offering he had no regard. So Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. The Lord said to Cain, Why are you angry, and why are your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is lurking at the door. Its desire is for you, but you must master it. Cain said to his brother Abel, Let us go to the field. And when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, Where is your brother Abel? He said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? And the Lord said, What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood is crying out to me from the ground, and now you are cursed from the ground. Now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you till the ground, it will no longer yield to you its strength. You will be a fugitive and a wanderer of the earth. Cain said to the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Today you have driven me away from the soil, and I shall be hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer of the earth, and anyone who meets me may kill me. Then the Lord said to him, Not so. Whoever kills Cain will suffer a sevenfold vengeance. And the Lord put a mark on Cain, and then that no one who came upon him would kill him. Then Cain went away from the presence of the Lord and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. So now we're going to talk about the beginning of civilization. So Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. And he built a city and named it Enoch after his son Enoch. To Enoch was born Irad. Irad was the father of Mehuel, and Mehuel the father of Methushel, and Methushel the father of Lamech. Lamech took two wives. The name of them was Ada, and the name of Zillah. Ada bore Jabal. He was the ancestor of those who live in tents and in the livestock. His brother's name was Jubal, and he was the ancestor of those who play the lyre and the pipe. Zillah bore Tubal-Cain, and made all the winds of bronze and iron tools. The sister of Tubal-Cain was Lamech. Lamech said to the wives, Ada and Zillah, Hear my voice. You wives of Lamech, listen to what I have said. It's okay, baby. We're going to start walking. I have killed a man for wounding me, a man for striking me. It's okay, sweetie. If Cain avenged 70-fold, true Lamech 70-fold. Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son and named him Seth. For she said, God had appointed me another child instead of Abel, because Cain killed him. To Seth also bore a son. A son was born, and he named him Enosh. At the time, people began to invoke the name of the Lord. Thanks, Dad. I'll take that. Can you throw this in there? So thank you again. My dad also is here recording for me. So this has been great. So he's going to go ahead and do the fellowship worship. How do we turn this around, Pop?
Up here.
Where?
There's a... Sorry.
Hold on, I'm having some technical difficulties.
Is that showing you now? I can't see it.
No, well, it's fine. We're just going to keep walking, and we're going to just talk about what we kind of just read. So, again, Dad, thanks for holding that and for coming with us. We also got little Livy with us, so bear with us, and hopefully everything goes okay. I think I can turn this around this way. There we go. All right, I can see everybody now. So a couple things with Cain versus Abel. Obviously, yeah. What do you think?
She's telling the story.
You tell the story too. I mean, she might tell it better than I can. So, I mean, and Pops, you can correct me if I'm wrong or anything. So, again, this is just an open discussion. All this is just to get the Lord's message out, and then to get people to start talking, and then eventually start going on these fellowship walks with us. That's all we're trying to do here, is we're trying to extend the Lord's message. And Cain and Abel, that's definitely a good one. I think a lot of people know about that. Even, they've heard the story. They may not even realize that it's part of the Bible too. I think, a lot of people have heard the story, but I mean, it's about a story about, a brother being angry and killing another brother. One that should never happen, ever. But this is because obviously Cain was angry, and the Lord did tell him, "Hey, why is your countenance fallen?" And if you're not really sure what that means kind of, his trust, or his faith kind of was lost in his anger. He was angry because he had brought so the difference between one was a tiller of the ground, and one was a sheep herder. So obviously one person, they brought two different things to the Lord, right? To offer to him, and for some reason, we don't know why, but the Lord, he accepted Abel's, and he had no regard. That's I'd like to know what other people's thoughts are with that. And there's nothing that says that he did. There's what Dad and I were talking about in the truck this morning, was we were talking about, maybe that has to do with Abel kind of put more effort into, he thought about the firstling and bringing the fat to the Lord, that, that was not necessarily a better offering, but, he took the time to do it. And with Cain, he just gave him some fruit, not necessarily the first fruit, but that's kind of something that I kind of take from that. So I'd be interested to hear and see what others think of that, because it's pretty big, and definitely shouldn't be doing that, and goes right after the other first sin. So, am I my brother's keeper? I think that might be one of the first times that we really see defiance openly towards God. And again, that's part of the free will. But God knew exactly what happened. He told Cain, I can hear your brother's blood calling for me. So again, he knows what we're doing too. I think that was more of a rhetorical, where is your brother? He knew what happened. Again, and that was free will, and that was because of anger. And that's something that we got to do. And it's something, I'll make I statements, that something that I find really hard to do, and I've been finding hard to do, especially with everything that's going on in the world, and all the stuff that we go through too. So it's easy to let the anger and the negativity in, but what God's telling us is that it will drive us, and it will make us do horrible things, like kill his own brother. You would never do that with a clear head and with God, So that's why, again, I admit I am a perfectly imperfect Christian, and I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep reading the Bible live, and then I'm going to try to schedule these fellowship walks so that we can, start to talk to each other and get the word out there, and we can get some fellowship going after that. I'm also going to be doing some other interviews here coming up where, I'll do a more deep dive into this chapter with somebody from possibly the church or, some prominent leaders within our community. But I'll be posting where I'm walking. Hopefully, they'll be on the weekends, but I might have a couple walks during the week. But I'll be reaching out to the Stafford and Fredericksburg community leaders. I'm going to open this up to everybody, so it's not denominational. I'm not trying to convert anybody. It's for spiritual well-being, your physical well-being, and you get to meet Livy and maybe meet my dad, and come and hopefully one day this is other people walking with us, and that's what this is about. So I'm going to cut this episode a little short because we're doing a lot of walking with some people, and I want to enjoy this time with my daughter and with my father. So again, thank you guys for all your support. One big thing coming up. I have a special episode coming up where I'm going to interview one of my father's friends. I'll just call him Mr. Tim. He had a near-death experience at NDE, and he has seen God and Jesus Christ. And I'm going to be hearing the interview for the first time myself, and then we'll be posting that. I'm not going to do that live just because I told him I wouldn't. We're gonna meet and do all that. So very much appreciated. Again, this is Walking with God episode 4 with Livy and Chris and Pop today. So thank you guys all for your support, and continue to like us, follow us on all social media and on YouTube. And God bless you, brothers and sisters. Have a good one.